Greetings, KSP fans. Raw here with another Kerbal Space Program video. And as you can see, what we've got going on here today is a ginormous rocket. We have the incarnation of green sexiness themselves, the original trifecta of Kerbal awesomeness, Bill, Jeb, and Bob. Manning, what some of you might have already guessed, is a replica of the Saturn V that carried the Apollo missions to the moon. I'm taking advantage of the new patch, so we have all the 0.2, 3.5 parts out here, including the big honkin' rockets, the big honkin' tanks, the other big honkin' rockets, and the new and improved structural system that makes this thing not fall apart on the launch pad. I'll go over a lot of the other features mid-flight. Let's try to keep this video short and sweet. Here we go. As most of you guys have already noticed, this thing is gigantically inefficient, overpowered, and just overkill in every way you can think about it. I could probably make it to the moon and back with 1/5 of this gear, but I wanted to make something that looked just like the Apollo one, well, within reason, of course, and without having to cheat. So let's go over some of the new additions. Apparently there's some kind of new physics going on that makes it a lot more stable and less likely to fall apart. The struts seem to hold better and whatnot. Also, as a lot of you probably have already noticed in your install, there's all these huge parts. A lot of these remind me of the Nova punchback, but I think they're actually more powerful. So we're halfway through the first stage. The first stage is 1.5 of the new biggest tanks and 5 of the new biggest engines. This isn't quite like the Saturn V, because that one just had 5 big engines, not 5 clusters of 4 big engines. But what are you gonna do, right? If I'd have put the new big engines, it wouldn't have lifted all this. It'd have been too much mass. That's what I have on the second stage. Alright. For some reason, the first 2 that I built would start spinning a lot, but I finally nailed it with this one. This one doesn't really spin much, or at all, actually. Alright, here we go. So this is more like the Saturn V would have been, just this massive round thing with 5 big engines sticking out of it. And we're a little late for a gravity turn, but who's counting? So the fun thing that I have with this going on here is we have the LEM in there coupled onto the third stage. So actually I have to pull out the command module, turn it around, dock it and bring it out. And that's always fun. We have astonishing amounts of delta V in these engines, so I'm going to put this on a really high apoapsis before using the third stage to circularize. Let's see how we're doing. Now we're doing great. I'm really excited about these new parts. I'm going to keep an eye on, my favorite YouTubers. I'm pretty sure they're going to do some wild stuff with all these ginormous tanks and rockets. I mean, these new parts made it easy for me to, for example, do something I've been struggling to do, which is land on Moho. I know a lot of people have landed on Moho, but I've always had a hell of a time hitting the brakes to not fly right past it. With a lot of these new parts, I was able to easily. Okay. I'll have to altitude is phenomenal, so let's flatten this out actually. And let's bring that periapsis up. Alright, second stage is burned out. And here's our third stage. Alright. So let's coast before circularizing. And here goes the new control tower. Bye. Rescue tower, I think that's actually what it's called. I love that thing, by the way. I'm glad they put it in. Okay. So I'm going to do sort of an unconventional circularization because I got so much delta V out of the second stage. I'm just going to do a straight down burn and circularize it kind of there before it would have hit our apoapsis. It's unorthodox and inefficient. But so is everything about this mission. Gonna slow it down. That's okay. Now this has control wheels, so I don't really need to use RCS, but I have tons of RCS, so why not? I'm also not going to do the time acceleration trick to stop the spin. I'm going to play it straight up here. Okay. Little time acceleration. And here we go. Almost there. Alright, so it should be circularized. Perfect. Let's set up our transfer. Where is that moon? There it is. It's coming up pretty soon. Now, I'm setting a collision course for the moon, and I'll tell you why. The original Apollo flight profile is they'd burn through the first stage, burn through the second stage, and start burning the third stage, all in a continuous burn till they were in orbit. Then the third stage engine would shut down. They'd set up their lunar insertion burn, their transfer burn, and do it, and then jettison the third stage after they pulled the LEM out of the fairing. Which means this entire tank, this entire engine, and what's left of this fairing would end up in a heliocentric orbit. So they'd leave all this floating around the sun by itself. It would be on a course to exit the Earth's sphere of influence and just end up, you know, a couple, I don't know, like 50 or 100 tons of floating orbital debris just out there. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do a similar profile, but the trajectory I've set is going to actually make it smash right into the moon when I let it go. So let's accelerate to that point, and then we'll do the fun part. And my voice sounds a little weird. I have been a little sick, so sorry if I have a hard time understanding me. Here goes our transfer burn. I like that even Bob and Bill aren't scared anymore. Everybody's smiling. Love these guys. The orange suit crew. Alright, so let's see. Not on collision yet. I wonder why. I don't want it to barely hit it. I want it to really hit it. There we go. I'm also coming in low, apparently. Let's do that before we do our orbital, our decoupling shenanigans. I think I use that word too much. There we go. Still on a collision course. Straight into the moon. Oh yeah. Okay. And perfect equatorial. Alright. So here comes the aforementioned fun part. I left these gaps in here so I could see through there and manage this. See, there's the LEM back there. There's what decouples the third stage. So just like in the Apollo 13 movie, I'm going to free the command module from everything. RCS my way out. I think the LEM lights are enough to light this whole thing up. Oh yeah. Target that. I'll turn the lights back on just so I can see. That's a little U-turn action here. And let's go grab ourselves a LEM. Too much light. That's okay. Should be pretty dead center. Can't see anymore, so whatever. Oh, there I can, right there. And gotcha. Alright. Now, I don't really need this. Decouple the LEM from the third stage. Let's reverse on out of here. And there's my spent third stage and fuselage or fairing, whatever you want to call it. Get rid of this one. And there we go. Command module, LEM, the boys in orange. Yeah, so I tried to, this is the small version of the new big tank with the skipper on it, so this thing has power. Control wheels, power generators, RCS tanks, all that is under there. I wanted to make it look like part of the thing. Tons of RCS, even though it doesn't really need it. And an Apollo-ish LEM, complete with decoupling landing stage and single engine to get us back up there. Overkill again with the fuel. Lots of lights. If anybody wants me to upload this for a download, let me know. For right now, this is me signing off. I'm not gonna do the whole land on the moon and come back thing. Everybody's done that a billion times. I just wanted to show off the design more than the going and coming back from the moon. So anyway, thank you guys for watching and have a good one.